Story 1, The Black-Eyed Children. They knock at night. Hello, I am Fears Forged. I'm here to help you sleep. If you can, sit back, relax, and let the darkness take over. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive into tonight's horror. It started with a knock. A soft, deliberate tapping at my front door just past midnight. I wasn't expecting anyone. My heart was already pounding before I even stood up. I live alone in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where people lock their doors religiously at night. But as I walked toward the peephole, something inside me whispered, "Don't look." I ignored it, and I wish I hadn't. Through the peephole, I saw two children standing on my porch. A boy and a girl, both around 10 years old. They were wearing outdated clothes, like something from the 1950s. Their heads were slightly bowed, and their arms hung stiffly at their sides. Then the girl spoke. "Sir, please, let us in." Her voice was hollow, emotionless. I shivered. Something was wrong. I hesitated before calling out. "Do you need help?" The boy lifted his head slightly. That's when I saw their eyes completely black. No whites, no irises. Just an endless, soulless void staring back at me. A wave of fear crashed over me. My instincts screamed to lock every door, turn off every light, and pretend I wasn't home. But before I could move, the girl's voice turned insistent. "We can't come in unless you invite us. Please, let us in." I backed away. Everything in my body told me not to let them in. I fumbled for my phone, but it was dead. No signal. No Wi-Fi. Just static on my TV. The knocking started again, louder this time. "Please, sir, just for a minute." My breath came in shallow gasps. Then, the doorknob twisted. They were trying to get in. I ran to my bedroom and locked the door. My windows rattled as if something or someone was trying to get in through them too. I sat in the dark, waiting. The knocking didn't stop for hours. Then, just before dawn, it ended. I stayed inside the entire next day. When night fell, I checked the peephole again. The porch was empty, but I had a feeling they weren't gone. I barely slept. Every noise made me jump, and then, just as I started drifting off, knock, knock, knock. A chill ran down my spine. Slowly, I turned my head toward the door. I already knew who it was. The black-eyed children had returned. Story number 2, The Staircase That Shouldn't Exist. I work as a search and rescue officer for the National Park Service. Over the years, I've seen things that defy explanation. People vanish without a trace. Search dogs lose their scent as if the missing simply stopped existing. But the strangest thing, the staircases, deep in the forest, far from any ruins or homes, you'll sometimes find a perfect, well-preserved staircase. No walls, no foundation, just stairs, rising into nothing. They look brand new, untouched by time. We're told to never, ever go near them. Most of us follow that rule. But one night, I made a mistake. It was a missing child case. A 12-year-old boy had wandered off the trail in the Great Smoky Mountains and never came back. His parents swore he had been right behind them then. In a blink, he was gone. We searched for 3 days. No tracks. No scent. It was as if something had taken him. On the 4th night, I was out alone in the woods when I saw it. A staircase. It was old, covered in moss, like it had been there for centuries. But something about it felt wrong. And then I saw him, the boy. He was standing at the top of the stairs, staring at me. But his eyes, they were hollow. "Come up," he whispered. A cold wave of terror crashed over me. I knew this wasn't right. "Come up," he repeated, his voice slightly distorted, like a recording played too slow. My legs locked. Every instinct screamed at me to run. Then I blinked, and he was gone. The staircase, too. It had disappeared, as if it had never been there at all. We never found that boy, just like the dozens, maybe hundreds before him. Some people say the staircases are a doorway, a trap, a place where something watches, waits, and takes. I don't know what I saw that night, but I know one thing. If you ever see a staircase in the woods, don't go near it. That's it for tonight's story. But be careful on your next hike. You never know what might be waiting for you in the woods. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. Sleep well if you can.